just joining us on France 24, you're seeing President Macron there making his way through the gilded halls of the Paris town hall with Mayor Anne Hidalgo. The two have been holding a one-to-one meeting before this next ceremony in the heart of Paris. The National Guard there on either side of the aisle. We're seeing the First Lady there, Brigitte Macron, also in blue behind him. It's certainly an impressive building to be having this ceremony in this Sunday. So let me turn to you, Lex Paulson, on these issues. I mean, you took part in the Macron campaign. Is this issue of how he's going to handle the Maghreb and also the French population with origins from the Maghreb going to be as central, or is he going to leave that there? Is that as far as he's going to go now?
Look, I agree with everything that William just said about the thorniness of this problem. From a purely political point of view, and my take's a little controversial, I think that day, that speech in Algeria, was the day he won the election. Why? Because the part of France that was winnable for Macron, but that was the most skeptical toward him, were people who were living in the banlieue from immigrant communities, from perhaps more economically depressed areas, who said, this guy's a banker, he can't possibly speak to our grievances or our frustrations with not being treated as fully French in a society that doesn't recognize officially any kind of ethnic or religious difference, and yet racism is still a huge challenge. That he was able to say, you know what, I understand how France looks to you, how you still feel, this part of France, how you still feel like there are unacknowledged crimes in our past that we need to face in order to reconcile France and all parts of French society. I don't think he did it casting fingers. I don't think he did it to settle scores. I think he did it in a very clear-eyed acknowledgement of the frustration that existed in those parts of the community. And I think at that point, when I saw on the ground the reactions of people of African origin, of Maghrebi origin, French citizens who said, I am enthusiastically voting for Macron, it's not because of necessarily his fiscal policy. It's because this was a man who really wanted to bring this conversation forward in a different way.
It's funny because there are some parallels being drawn with Barack Obama and what he brought to the conversation when he was elected also, but that sort of somehow backfired.
Well, let's remember, I think this comes back to the political issue of what happens in the elections in June. Barack Obama came out very strongly in saying, I want to close down Guantanamo. I want to close down this facility, and there was a lot of stress on the need to get away from some of the practices that many people call torture. In fact, it's always amazing to me that in his various ill-considered tweets, even Donald Trump uses the word torture when he talks about what he wants the United States military and security services to be able to go back to in dealing with terrorism. So the reality for Barack Obama was that a very solemn, honorable, principled commitment was very quickly undermined by the political realities in the Congress, where even enough Democrats joined with the solid phalanx of Republicans in saying, no, we're not prepared to go down that road. And I think that, picking up on something that Macron made a point of stressing in his speech after his inauguration, the idea of wanting to assert French values again into its foreign policy. And it's going to be an interesting relationship that will eventually develop between him and Donald Trump, because